A very good morning to everyone. It's pleasure to see all the new enthusiastic batch here. And this Freshie Alumni Meetup is to celebrate the incoming of the new batch. That is to you guys. So first of all, a huge round of applause for you guys for making it to IIT Madras. As you can see, as you have step in IT Madras, a lot of people have step out and they have become alumni. So there should be proper interaction between you and them. That's why we have a significant number of alumni coming today and interacting with you, so that you can also ask question ki how their insti life was, what are the do's and don't that you should do in IIT Madras, and how how IIT Madras shaped their personal and professional life. So, uh, let's start. First of all, let's start with a briefing from our IR secretary, Mr. Ujjwal Nima. He will just tell you about how our alumni culture is there and how can you take max from it. So, give a huge round of applause for Ujjwal Nima.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, hi all, I am Ujjwal Nima. I am a fourth year undergrad at IIT Madras, and I am currently heading the International Alumni Relations sphere. So first of all, I want to thank all of the alumni who have taken out their time from their busy schedule and have came here to guide all these freshies who have just stepped into the campus. So a huge round of applause for all the alumni. So some of them, like all of them were maybe at the similar place at Insti 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago. And this magnificent institution has shaped their life tremendously, and I think all of them can second that. And not just that, even after going out, alumni have been continuously shaping our life in terms of facilities that you have. The Vatsa Stadium is donated by one of our alumni, and all the other facilities that you say. And it's not just the facilities, all the culture that you are a part of. Let's say if some of you are interested in a quizzing club, it was started by one of our alumni. Anything that you say, it is started by one of our alumni, and directly and indirectly, all the alumni have been shaping our life. And once you go out, you will realize that how this institution has made you, and how the people who have been and not in the campus have shaped you, and how Insti is not just for your 4 years, but it's for beyond, beyond your life. So that is something that you should keep in mind. And the event will start off, we'll have few interactions with all of the alumni over here. We'll have from informal games as well. Be interactive and have fun. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Ujjwal. Just to clarify, not just the facilities in the institute, I think all of us would agree here that we are also donated by our seniors. A lot of gratitude to them.
So, now let's move on to the main highlight of this Freshie Alumni Meetup. Welcome to the special Fireside chat, where we have brought beloved alumnus to our events to share their stories and answer certain questions about Insti life. I am thrilled to have Mr. Pradeep Gulipalli with us. He is a graduate of the Department of Civil Engineering from class of 2003. So, how many of you are from civil engineer? Can you just raise your hand? Okay, a few of them are there. So he is your super senior.
Super to the power 20, senior. Right. A little background about him. He is the co-founder of Tiger Analytics, where they use AI and analytics to solve many brilliant and tough problems and provide solutions for several Fortune 500 companies. The company has been featured in the best analytics firm list and has been ranked among the fastest growing tech companies by Financial Times. So, sir, it has been 20 years since you graduated from college. So, when you arrived, did you notice any differences in the previous 2 decades?
So you started off with the question, but good morning to everyone. I think all of these are the freshers, right? So, a very warm welcome to all of you right to IITM. This is. I hope this is going to be like a very life-changing experience for you, like it was for a lot of us, right? So, we'll take this opportunity to interact with you here. I'm sure there are a lot of questions in your mind that you're getting answered from your peers, your professors, seniors, etc. Maybe there are some of those. There are few of us here. We can share some insights from our end as well. We would love to interact on all those topics today. So coming to the question he asked, saying, hey, what are the changes that you have seen from when we graduated? So if I were to say, they introduced themselves as second year, fourth year, so then I'll be a 24th year undergrad, right? So I graduated exactly 20 years ago in 2003. I think the campus looks much more sanitized now in a way. It was more wild in the sense of true wilderness. I'm not talking about the student wilderness. It was more wild. Back then I see a lot of more higher, taller buildings. But I hear the green cover hasn't decreased at all. In fact, it continues to increase even though we are building more buildings. So I think all the engineering and science is being put to good use there. I saw some, we used to have, each of our hostels used to have their own mess. Now it looks like we have a common, huge common mess where everyone eats in. There used to be one very almost rundown gym in the place where there are all the trees near SAC. That's no longer there. Looks like that's moved to a new building. Otherwise, seems the charm is still there. It seems like the same old thing that we noticed 20 years ago, or probably if there are, if you speak to even more the original alumni, right, of the 60s and 70s, I'm sure they'll also say, hey, a lot of it hasn't changed.
It's great to hear, sir, that you still remember what you have seen in previous 2 decades, and a lot of new thing has came in IIT Madras. So moving on this, the first question that every freshers have in their mind whenever they go for JUSA counseling is which IIT to choose for, whether go for IIT Madras, Bombay and Delhi. So on the similar line, what motivated your decision to opt for IIT Madras over other IIT, and would you like to share the role that institute played in it? And if you get a chance to go back in times in JOSA counseling, would you still go for IIT Madras?
So this seems like a question written by profs, right? Because students, when you're going through counseling, I doubt you're going to say, hey, I'm going to IIT Madras, right? You worked hard, and then you're looking to say, hey, in your minds, even at this time, right? There are all these premier institutions that have been bellwethers of Indian tech. And you're saying that it doesn't matter what it is, right? So when you go to counseling, you're probably approaching it that way, right? Whether it's IIT Madras, Bombay, Kharagpur, you're like, sure, right? So I doubt any of us goes into counseling with that kind of an approach. Sure, you might have some preferences for certain departments. I don't know, right, if how many of you had strong preferences for departments. So I came in pretty clueless at the time of counseling to this. I probably, I don't know how counseling works now, but in our times, we almost exactly knew what options we had. And in IITM, I think I had about 6 departments I could get into at that time. And just before the whole counseling, and it used to happen live in the campus, right? So we would come in, we could interact with profs, and then try to make sense of it and opt for something. And in a twist of fate, I met 2 of the best professors in civil engineering, just before counseling. And they are, so think of it, they have been a major inspiration for me over the years. And you know what happens after you meet like two inspirational people like that just before counseling, you go for it, right? And then IITM civil engineering became my first preference, and I'm glad I got in what I opted for.
Right now, we don't have a privilege to visit a campus intern, so everything is online. That's why mostly people have this question. Yeah, moving on.
Right, sir. So we all know that our NC life is full of quote-unquote anecdotes from our lives. And could you share some of your funny stories, incidences, or the highlights of your NC life, if that counts?
Yeah, so a lot of stories are not meant to be shared. Right? You'll learn that what happens in your hostels or hostel wings shouldn't leave the hostel wing itself, right? That's the sacred pact you are making with each other. So I'll not, without breaking those, I'll see what I can recollect. The monkeys used to be pretty a big menace at that time. So whenever we used to have the hostel elections, one of the top points of the hostel general secretary would be, I will ensure monkeys cannot tamper with our waste bins. Right? That used to be one of the biggest problems. I don't know if they've fixed that now. So
This is still the best manifesto point of them.
so the different engineering solutions have come up, but monkeys are smarter than any of those solutions. So there used to be situations of monkeys going into rooms and popping medicines that people might have, and that will have adverse reactions. They're running amok. So all of those, enough situations like those. Yeah, there will be, and I think I'm not supposed to utter the ragging word here, because I think for better or for worse, there are things are done in a certain manner now. So, but it was we had pretty interesting times as freshies during those times. Some were scary, some helped break the ice. But yeah.
Just to confirm, Ki, you told about whether at your time there was a culture of Insti, nickname, and the intro culture, if you remember.
Yeah. Of course, that is always there. Yeah.
Okay, it's good to know Ki, that we are still following that culture. So yeah, moving on to next question. As everyone right now have probably used ChatGPT, if you guys have not used, so mostly you will be using in your next assignment that the professor will be giving. So one same like your background of BTech is from civil engineer, and so how the transition took place from civil engineer to a leading founder in a data analytics company.
So I think one of the things, you're all starting this journey in certain disciplines. You don't know what they mean. You might have a very peripheral understanding, right? So I saw a few hands raised in civil engineering. I'm sure there are people in electrical, mechanical, and so on. Many of you have very little understanding at this point as to what all of that is going to, what you're going to study, let alone what are the kinds of real life problems you'll work on in the future, right? So was it, right, in our times as well, and in my case as well. But one thing you will learn as part of this journey is problem solving, right? So if you play it well, you will learn it. You learn problem solving at a very different level. That's only possible in a few places. So you have that opportunity, and then that problem solving opens up a lot of opportunities for you. To give you some examples, right? And this is all connecting the dots back, like in retrospect. Right? You don't think about these when you're going through the program. I can remember, I'll give you examples of what we learned in civil engineering, right? So when you're trying to design structures, right, you need to build mathematical models of forces and bending moments and materials and everything, right? How do you mathematically represent a structure? Only then you will be able to design things, right? So when you're building transportation networks, you need to build mathematical models of traveler behaviors, housing, employment, economy, everything, so that you decide those are the models which will help you predict what will be the optimal transportation network in a city. When you're designing fluid systems, you are thinking of mathematical models for all the fluid mechanics, dynamics, and all of those, right? So I can, there's like, at least probably I can see that, like looking back, probably a good 40% of the coursework had a very strong such flavor. And what are we doing today? What is AI? AI is, again, we are building mathematical models, statistical models, which can make sense of numbers, images, text. That's what it is, right? And eventually, how are we going to put it to use? We are going to build, when we work with, say, large businesses to say, how can AI help you? What we do, we build models of the business itself, right, of a company itself, saying, where do you get raw material? What do you know? How do you process? How does the manufacturing happen? How does marketing happen? Sales happen? How do you sell? What are customer problems? How can you, better customer experience? All of that. So we build massive models of all of this, and then say, and then what are the drivers of making certain things better, making certain things optimal, right? If I connect back, this is a problem solving that any engineering discipline, no matter what, you will be learning. It will be how does math tie to engineering? That's what a lot of you will learn, and I cannot say for 100% effort, but for a lot of us, it will tie to whatever we are doing, even though it might or might not be in the exact field that you are learning right now.
Okay, that's interesting for the folks who are sitting here. So even if you are from civil engineering or metallurgical engineering, you can still be in the leading founder of any AI or tech.
Yes,
So
yes. Even if you are computer science, even if you are electrical, doesn't matter whatever discipline you are in.
the problem solving is one thing that you should focus on.
Yes.
Absolutely, sir. And sir, since you would, I think you would agree that apart from the academics and our professional goals, there are also other factors like playing, sports, culturals, and a lot of other tech things that we do as extracurricular activities. So how does one strike the balance between managing the professional side of goals and these extracurricular side of goals?
Yeah, so this will be one of the biggest questions all of you will face. It will be so overwhelming, right? The kind of things that are going on around you, the opportunities that exist, that you can get lost very, very quickly, right? And I don't know how much counseling or what counseling opportunities exist for students. And many of us learn by experimentation. But I would say, if you were to ask my advice on this, there are two things you're going to take away from this next 4 years, right? So one, you're going to, there's this bunch of high IQ people who are being now put together. You're going to debate, discuss, you're going to argue, fight, build consensus, right? So you're going to critique, you're going to come to a consensus. All of this is going to happen, and this is going to form, and you're part of many sports, culturals, and so on. This is going to build your personality, right? And that's a personality which you'll carry for a lot of your life, right? The foundation is that. So that's a part, the hostel life and the co-curricular culturals, something you just cannot brush it. But that's half of it. Right? The other half, the academics, like I was saying, this is you worked so hard. You worked so hard to come to this. Let it not be that you have just come here and that's it. Right? You cannot. It's a such a big opportunity for you to learn certain skills that it will be a shame if you're not able to know after 4 years. So that the thing I'm talking about, learning that whole problem solving at a completely new level, we need to take advantage of. We have so many passionate profs, and you will hit off with some of them, not everyone, right? And then I think a few are enough to shape your thinking and some of this quite well. So I'd say, if you're saying in your mind, say my mind share half is going to my hostel life, culturals and sports, etc., and the other half is going to academics. If you get this, say, half and half right, then a lot of problem is solved. Then you know that there are hundreds of culturals I can participate in, but I have only half my time available. Then you will prioritize. Same goes for academics as well. Is the amount of academic research activity going is mind-boggling. It can leave you quite overwhelmed. But you say, hey, I have half my time for this, and then I prioritize what I do. What you should avoid doing is don't cross-subsidize one way or the other. So if you can get that, I don't know what that number is for you. Maybe it is 40-60 one way or the other, or half and half. But both of these will be quite critical for you to get the best of what the institute offers.
Surely, because this is something that every fresher is doing. Every day a new club orientation happens and they are confused which one to attend. So it's not about the club that you have to participate, it's about the time, how much time you want to give to that part and academic part. So yeah, let's go on to next question. IIT Madras is full of a lot of lessons that you learn. Just to speak about myself, like right now I'm in a 4th year. So when I was in my 2nd year, I thought PR is everything. If you do not get any PR, then your life is there. And then intern come, then I got intern also. And you probably said in Instilingo, once you pass this, every other thing seemed to be a light for you. So I just want to hear from you also, what were the life lessons that you learned from IIT Madras that still hold true today in your life?
Yeah. So all of us have gone through that, right? So first it used to be class 10th. This is the most important thing in your life. Then comes class 12th. This is the most important thing, exam in your life, and then life is set, right? So then you come here, then you go through another transformation. Maybe there's internship, maybe there's a job. That doesn't end, right? Trust me, it goes on forever. That wherever you are, there'll be that next aspirational thing and next goal you want to reach to. But so long as I think you're able to balance, like you said, hey, we talked about academic and co-curricular balance. If you're able to, in your mind, very set yourself that thing, say, I'll balance this way, right? Then the journey becomes much more sustainable. Right? So again, coming back to his question, right? Life lessons, right? So we all like those. I think one thing I realized was there are part of my journey here at IITM, and then later as well, is there are so many people who are so much more smarter than you, right? Given there are so many people who are putting in so much more hard work than you, and the combo also, right? So it's given, right? So let your ego not come in the way of either you trying to prove a point that you are better than someone, or all of you, or I'd say most of you would have done very well in your schooling till now. Many of you would have, right, if your schools adopted, right, some sort of a ranking system, you might have been some of the top folks in the class. But then when you are here, that will, by design, it will not hold true, because there will be, everyone cannot be like, hey, there's only one person who can be ranked one just by mathematical design, right? So don't let that pressure get to you. So rather than just getting into this crazy competition of trying to prove yourself as one up from others, if you're able to strike that, how do you collaborate rather than compete? That will ease up so much more from your minds, right? Even and it will hold throughout. So now with your classmates, it'll happen as you graduate. You step into work. It'll happen with your colleagues. The moment you start competing on everything, it's so much stress, right? But you say, hey, I want to collaborate with you, and then we can make something special happen. Let's build something together. It's so much more fun, right? So, and we are all in these constrained systems of what we have grown up in, like a JE or something. It's a competition. I know there are rankings, etc. But beyond a point, it's not a zero-sum game, right? A zero-sum game means when you add up all these things, the sum is fixed. And if you get something more, then someone else gets something less. Real life is not like that. Once you step out, you'll see. The size of the cake can increase and increase and increase, and there can be so much for everyone, but only if we collaborate more. So that's the thing, maybe letting go of all the airs you had about yourself, about, hey, I was I've always grown up as a topper, or all of that. Letting that go, and then see how you work together with others, how you learn from others. That's probably the biggest lesson I've taken away. Like I've had, I think most of the people I can speak of our batch, class of 99 to 2003. Everyone had major, their confidence just shattered, like utterly after the first semester, right? And I'm sure all of your seniors have gone through that, and it's going to happen to you. That's good, right? That's when the real building of the personality will start to happen. So go through that exercise, but let that not put you down. It will happen, right? And then you will discover, you'll build a new you in the process.
So yeah, just to summarize, competition has been ended with your J examination, and now is the time for collaboration. So mostly focus on that.
Definitely, sir. I think all of us here can resonate with that. So the last question that I would like to ask is, since I think most of the people present here would definitely try to embark on a journey similar to yours. They would be entrepreneurs, they would be engineers, innovators. So what is your piece of advice that you would like to give to this new generation of IITM freshers?
I think a lot of that comes later in life, right? A lot of that advice will not be useful here. But I'll say at this stage of the career, I'll double emphasize that to say, ensure you have that balance between your, the co-curricular things and the academic part. Don't go, say if you go extreme on either one, any extremes are, will end up as a bit suboptimal. Now I want to emphasize that because several of you have gone through a really grueling last couple of years, right, to clear the JE and come here. So there will be a very, there will be a correction bias, right? So last 2 years was anything but balanced for most people. It was very unidimensional. it'll be very easy to swing to the other extreme, right? Where you say, hey, I just last 2 years was crazy, boss. No, I'm going to chill out for this. The thought is valid, but how do you curb that thought to say the antidote to one extreme is not the other extreme, but the fix is how do you strike a balance? So if you're able to get yourself to that balance, I think all of you are smart people, right? You are surrounded by smart people. So you'll learn a lot from each other. But if you strike that balance, then a lot of opportunities will open up. You'll get a lot of advice, there's ample advice from the best of the world online available. So I don't need to give any special advice on entrepreneurship and all of that. So all of that will come naturally. But I think this is a timely, I think if I want you to walk away with one thing today from my conversation is, how do you strike that balance and not go to either extreme? That will help you a lot over the course of time.
Yes, sir. I definitely would say that answers to the question to some extent.
Now it's the time for the rapid fire question. I hope audience is ready for it and you as well, sir. So we'll ask some question that you have to answer in 1 or 2 words or max 1 phrase. So no one,
Yes.
what do you?
First, your Insta name. Your Insta name.
My Insta name, I used to be called Don.
Insta life in 1 word.
See life. Mind bending.
Your CGPA.
8.5 something.
Does it matter?
No one cares about CGPA, but CGPA is a means to build some skills.
How many gates were there in IIT Madras at your time?
5. 5 during my time, I don't know how many now.
Right now it's 3, sir. How many deans at ITM?
Deans. 4, 5, I don't know. 4 maybe. How many are there now?
I think it's 13.
Oh my God.
11.
11.
Number of departments.
8 during my time.
Number of classes you bunked in a semester.
What stays in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Any fights or blunders during Insta life?
Not many. I had one run-in with a prof once. I still think I was right.
Lowest grade you got.
Semester 1, Basic Electrical Engineering, D.
Okay, that's up for today's fireside chat. I hope audience enjoyed it. If you enjoyed, can you give a cheer up? I hope, sir, you enjoyed as well. Now I will request Ujjwal to facilitate our guest of honor.
Ma'am, can you please join us for the photo? We have sir's wife also here. Give a round of applause for her. Padma ma'am, Jahar sir, can you please join us?
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session and taking out your time to inspire the youngest generation of IITM freshers. It was definitely enlightening to talk to him. And I hope all of you gained some knowledge, some insight, and sort of a way for forward.
Small announcement for all the alumni. Please occupy the seat that is in front of us. A huge round of applause for all the alumni that has come today in order to share their story with you. Okay, guys, so Fireside chat has been done. Now there is informal games and some more stories that your alumni will be sharing with you. I just want to mention one rule of all the things that will be happening afterward. If you engage and volunteer to help us in any of the tasks, you will be getting goodies. So you know key how to get a goodies, right? You just have to be interactive with us, and that's the only rule of all the events that is going to happen next. Let's start with getting to know about them some. So some general question about that. What do you say, Rohan?
Yes, it's absolutely. Let's go.
So first of all, is there anyone among the fresher who is from Jammu and Kashmir? By the way, do you know anyone who is from J&K?
J&K, Delhi. Okay, Delhi.
Delhi? Okay, someone is from Delhi. Anyone from Tamil Nadu? Okay, a few of them. Anyone from Rajasthan? Okay. Anyone from northeastern part of the country? Like West Bengal? Okay, you are there.
Actually, since we had a chat on analytics, the problem is that their sample space is small.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
That was we are not able to do the proper analysis. But you can find out कि all the folks that are in INSTI are from various part of India. It ranges from north as far as from Jammu Kashmir to south Tamil Nadu, from west to east. So yeah, and one more thing that I want to ask you, as you all were doing some or other form of JE coaching or self-study, how many times you have heard, or do you have heard any time your professor telling that life will be set after IIT? So I just want you to raise your hand if you have heard this particular phrase, that life will be set after IIT. So do you still believe it?
That is too early to tell anything.
Yeah,
Alright.
maybe you should wait till first semester.
Okay, Ajit, so let us start with a little introduction about our culture that we got passed on from our seniors. So I hope everybody here knows about what intro is. Is anyone here among us who doesn't know what an intro is?
Yeah, if he does not know, we will ensure that he must know.
Anyone?
Just raise your hand who knows about intro culture.
Okay. And raise your hand if you know the intro format by heart. By heart. Be careful.
Be careful.
Okay. I see we just have one daring volunteer. Thank you so much. So this culture of intro and incineme, it has been from the very inception of IIT Madras. And I'm sure that all of our alumni here have also gone through that phase of being called from across the corridor with a name which is probably not the most
Suitable public name.
in public, but such is hostel life, and that is what you end up remembering the most as well. We have a unique format for the intro. Can any one of you volunteer to share that format with us? Can we have a volunteer? Let's see.
Or let's start with someone from council.
Yes. Or maybe one of our alumni can share their intros.
Or maybe we can do one thing.
Or maybe we can share our intros. if
Maybe
that
we
is
can
possible.
do one thing. We can call one of the alumni and we can call our IR secretary for giving the intro. That will be good.
Yeah.
So Samir bhaiya, if you want to take intro visual. And by the way, everyone is aware of the rule, right? If
Whatever
it-
happens in Vegas,
and if anything goes wrong, I know what you have to say with a loud voice. Repeat. Okay, let's go. Put intro.
I am nameless and shameless. My nickname is Minima. I am from Jhabua, Madhya Pradesh. My factory was Kota, Rajasthan. Okay.
repeat. Repeat.
Okay. Hi, I am nameless and shameless.
Repeat. Repeat. Repeat.
Hey,
Repeat.
you are my batchmate. You are not supposed to interrupt.
Fair.
Only alumni and seniors can take that. Okay. So I am nameless and shameless. My nickname is Minima. I am from Jhabua, Madhya Pradesh. My factory was Resonance Kota. My hobbies are playing badminton, writing poetries, and filmmaking.
Samir bhaiya, there is one fatal flaw. He says, I am nameless and shameless and my nickname is Minima.
Okay. It's been 4 years since I have been given any intro, so I deserve something for that. Okay. I am Minima. My nickname is Ujjwal Nima. I am from Jhabua, Madhya Pradesh. My factory was Resonance Kota. My hobbies are playing badminton, writing poetries, and filmmaking. Any freshie to help? What I am missing out? No, if you have given an Insta name, you cannot say nameless and shameless. You will say, I am your Insta name.
Yes.
So, I said Jhabua, Madhya Pradesh. Yeah, that's there. Anything else? Branch. Okay. Yeah. Branch and? Right. Rank is not mandatory, but.
Rank is optional, dude. That number will never, you won't ever think about that number after you've come here. Trust me.
Okay. I am Minima. My nickname is Ujjwal Nima. I am from Jhabua, Madhya Pradesh. I am pursuing a dual degree in. Okay. I am Minima. My nickname is Ujjwal Nima. I am from Jhabua, Madhya Pradesh. I am pursuing an integrated dual degree in computational engineering with a minors in bioengineering. My factory was Resonance, Kota, Rajasthan, and my hobbies are music, writing, and filmmaking. Where did I went wrong?
You have to give a reason for him to repeat. No,
Yeah.
he must do a mistake. Otherwise, he checks out. CGPA is not required, dude.
Yeah. Hey, that is the extra additions. That's not required.
I hope you realize he's a fourth year. He'll be there. He'll be there.
Yeah, post the event we'll meet too. So.
Right. I know it sounds complicated and it's a little hard to remember, but there's a very elegant
Hello?
cycle
Hello?
behind that. Yes, Arjit.
I'm just checking my.
Yeah, so there is a very elegant cycle behind it. It's like the cycle of life. So you are born into this world. You don't have a name, right? Do you? You are nameless and shameless. But then
I mean, that is it. You cannot change it. So
it is, dude. You are nameless.
it is what it is.
Yes. And then when you are born, your parents call you by some name. I'm sure all of you have nicknames. So that is your nickname. Here in Insti, it works in a different way. When you enter Insti, it's a different phase of life. It's a different set of people, different set of rules. So yeah, we will call that the name which you got when you were actually born would be your nickname here, right? And then what you are here to do? You are enrolled in some sort of a program, right? You must have a factory. So you are manufactured from a factory. So you'll say that, okay, I'm from this factory and I'm doing this program, right? And then next part is, what are you here to do? Any guesses? What are you here to do? Study. and enjoy. Choose one. You have to choose one. You only have one option. Huh? Okay, okay. Yeah, so we're basically not here to study. We're here to enjoy. So we have our hobbies and we pursue them. So yeah, that is the cycle of life. And that is how you remember the intro format.
Just a quick question. Do you know who is your parents in institute?
Yeah. Who's your parent in institute? Quite literally. Who's your parent in the institute?
Seniors. That's why they give you nickname.
That was a little concerning. Oh.
Okay, I think everyone have an idea about the intro. Now I need one volunteer to replicate the same intro. So can I get a volunteer? Just raise your hand who is willing to come on stage.
The bravest will get goodies.
Yeah, please. The guy in the white shirt. A huge round of applause for him. Now technically we are the senior.
Hello everyone, I'm nameless and shameless. My nickname is Kadir Matalai. I'm from Bangalore and Bangalore, Karnataka. My factory was Fiji HSR layout. Hello everyone, I'm nameless and Hello everyone, I'm nameless and shameless. My nickname is Kadir Matalai. I'm from Bangalore. My factory was Fiji HSR layout. Hello everyone, I'm nameless and shameless. My nickname is Kadir Matalai from Bangalore. My factory was Fiji HSR layout. I'm going to pursue the dual degree of physics in the physics department in IIT Madras. And
Repeat.
am I?
Yeah. No full forms. Sorry, no
Yeah,
short
go
forms.
ahead.
No short.
No full form. Okay. Hello everyone, I'm nameless and shameless. My nickname is Kadir Matalai. I'm from Bangalore. My factory was Fiji HSR layout. I'm pursuing a dual degree in physics.
No short forms, dude. No short forms. Fiji.
Fiji.
HSR layout.
Hello everyone, I'm nameless and shameless. My nickname is Kadir Matalai. I'm from Bangalore and my factory was Forum for Institute of Technology Joint Entrance Examination from HSR layout. I'm not taking the full form of HSR layout.
But I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah, I volunteered. Okay. Hello everyone, my nickname is... hello everyone, I'm nameless and shameless. My nickname is Kadir Matalai. I'm from Bangalore and my factory was the Forum for the Indian Institute of Technology Joint Entrance Examination from HSR layout. I'm going to pursue a dual degree in physics from the Department of Physics in Indian Institute of Technology Madras. Fine.
What are you here to do, dude?
Yeah. Okay. Hello everyone, I'm nameless and shameless. My nickname is Kadir Matalai. I'm from Bangalore and my factory was the Forum of Indian Institute of Technology Joint Entrance Examination from HSR layout. And I'm going to be pursuing a dual degree in physics from the physics department in the Indian Institute of Technology Madras. And my hobbies are football, basketball, music, and having fun.
Pass. Did he pass?
Hello guys. One more thing that I forgot to tell is there is a one competition between you only. So like throughout the event you have to click a photo and you have to put it in story and tag IRSC_IT Madras Instagram page, and the top 5 story will be selecting them and will be reaching out to you to give you some goodies.
Better than chocolate,
Better than
obviously.
chocolates.
Better than chocolate, of course.
So it's IIR Student Council. You can see IIR Student Council, IIT Madras.
All right. So that was with the round of intros. And as you know, we have some of our alumni here. Some are recently graduated and some are super to the power 20 plus seniors. So it would be enlightening if our alumni can share some of their stories from their times back in the days, the OG campus stories. So Ajit,
Yeah, because it's all about the story that you learn from your seniors, and you try to replicate it same. Okay, our senior did that in hostel. We like our seniors just do an all-nighter, study everything in just one night and all.
How
So
many
they,
of you know Bassi? Please don't do that here. It won't end.
okay, so without wasting any much more time, I will like to call sir for enlightening us with a story.
Hi everyone, my name is Sridhar. I am from the 91 batch, civil engineering, and I was in the Jamuna hostel. I am also the current secretary of the IIT Madras Alumni Association. We just took charge yesterday, and today is my first official duty. I think it's very important to connect to the students because what I feel with the Alumni Association is that you kind of remember the Alumni Association after, let's say, 20 years, 25 years, and you have your silver reunion. You guys come back to the institute and remember the Alumni Association at that time, and that needs to be stopped. So as soon as we leave the institute, you become an alumni, and I want all of you guys to be active in the Alumni Association, participate, contribute, and make it a better place, more exciting place for all of us. And I'll just, before I get started on the institute life, I think Pradeep also mentioned, see, we have 55,000 alumni already. And you just have to go to any country, right? Any big corporations, you will see IIT Madras there, right? When he was talking about, when the question was posed, right? Why did, or was there a choice? IIT Madras or Bombay or Delhi or something? And I'm very glad that I chose IIT Madras, right? I'm proud of it, and you guys should also be. This power of the network that you have, you will only realize it later because, see, initially when you just graduate from the institute, let's say, and in my generation, most of the people went abroad. But what happened there was that we had seniors in the places that we had gone, okay, and without question, without asking, right? They would just host us in their place because it was for a lot of us, it was a new place that we were going, let's say abroad. I went to the US, right? So I had never flown out of India at all, right? So it was my first flight ever. So these kind of experiences, your seniors and your alumni are the ones who help transition you into this new life that you've chosen, right? And that help was unimaginably helpful in us adjusting to this new life, right? But that is the power of the alumni that you have, and I want all of you guys to tap into it because that is a very strong thing that you have. That is the gift that you guys have by becoming an IIT Madras student. Okay, let me start with a little bit of when I was a student, when I was a fresher as well. By the way, we didn't have this intro culture. I'm kind of curious how this developed. Our culture was different. We will not get into that because you guys are not going to experience it anyway. So that's different. Okay, but Pradeep mentioned it, but one thing I'll just focus on you guys because this is what is going to come at you. The first year is tough, right? And for a lot of us, and for some of us it is different. Some of us it could have been a breeze that is different, but for a lot of us it was difficult, and only because of what he had already talked about, right? So a lot of us have done very well at school, and suddenly we come into IIT and we find that there are a lot of us who have done well at school as well, right? So the competition is intense, and when you are faced with such competition, you have to find the determination, the effort from within you to raise your level, to do what you want to be. I mean, I'm not saying that you always have to aim for the top, but it is what you're comfortable with, right? So if you're comfortable with just coasting the Insta life for 4 years, that is also fine, right? And a lot of people did in my times, and what they would do is in the 7th semester, 8th semester, they would start panicking, like, oh my God, my CG is so low, what am I going to do? And they had options at that time. They could write CAT and then they could restart their life. Or they could write, try for IAS and those kind of things, or they could go for a job. So these were options available for people who could coast inside, for the first 3 years, 3.5 years, and they would still land on their feet. So that is a gift that you guys are given. But for people who choose not to do that, right? For people who say that, look, this is not me, I am not the kind of guy that I don't want to be at the bottom or something just because the first year was difficult, then it would need for you to up your game a little bit. And that, that first year is what is going to train you to tell what effort is required. Either you put in the effort or you don't put in the effort. That's up to you. Okay, that choice is yours. I leave it up to you to make it. But that first year, finding where you fit in that class, right? That is something that you will realize immediately, and you will also find out, okay, what am I comfortable with? Am I comfortable with being average? Or am I comfortable with being above average or below average? People are comfortable. So you find that level where you are comfortable with, and that will define the effort that you will put in, and you can stay there or go up and down a little bit. That comfort, that balance that Pradeep was talking about is something that you will figure out in this first year, and that is important. So that is the, not advice, but this is what is going to come for you in this year. So be prepared for it. So be prepared to find out where you're comfortable in, right? So in your branch, in your level, and make terms with it, right? So don't get disappointed at, okay, I am here, I am not happy, or I am there, I need to be better. There is always competition, there is always, like Pradeep also said, right? So success is being changed constantly. Success for you was to get into IIT, right? Now there is a new goalpost. There could be a goalpost of getting your branch position in the top 5, or there could be a new goalpost of landing that coveted internship, right? It could be at McKinsey, or it could be at BCG, or whatever it is, right? It could be at Microsoft, right? Then the next goalpost is to land that job, or the next goalpost could be to get into that university. So these goalposts keep changing. Don't forget to be happy with what you have achieved so far. Don't forget that you have achieved a lot to get here. Don't forget to feel grateful for all the people that have supported you to come here. Okay, don't forget to be happy with what you have. Because success and what you define as success will keep changing. So don't keep chasing after success. Be happy with what you have, and then chase after success. I'm not saying that don't have dreams, right? Have big dreams. Have big dreams, and only then you will see that you will be having that inner goal or fire to achieve those kind of things. Have big dreams, but don't forget to be happy with what you have. Okay, I'll conclude with that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your story. Uh, in a meantime, we'll have something interesting for you guys that will be starting in few minutes. Okay, so I would also like to invite Sri Krishnan sir from 1991 batch to share his story, and so that you can also get a vibe key how the Insta life was at that time and what are the do's and don'ts that you have to do during your Insta life. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm Sri Krishna. Can you hear? Yeah. BTCS 91 batch. As far as factory was Agarwal and brilliant. Yeah. What else? Narmada. I was in Narmada. I've been listening to a lot of things said by other alumni. One of the points I think they have not covered is this. Okay. Remember two things. Whatever it is, you are important. Irrespective of what anybody else says, you are absolutely important. That's number one. Number two, you cannot do anything without the help of others. They may seem contradictory. They may seem contradictory, even for getting your food, getting like the water I have here, it's not possible without the help of others. Remember these two things, you will find the balance automatically. Okay. Now, coming back to Insta life, I was more of an observer as far as Insta life goes. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of things. But I was more of an observer in the Insta life. We used to have this six-a-side. I don't know if you still have the six-a-side football games. No, it's not? Okay. So we used to have teams, six-a-side football, teams from A to A, B, C, D, up to N, M, and so on. And I think for a whole semester, nearly 2 or 3 months? Yeah. 2 or 3 months, we used to have this hostile teams competing against each other. No. Streiter was there. Streiter was there. This is not Streiter at all. It used to be played at Sangam. Sangam is still there? Sangam is there. So it used to be played in Sangam. Now, I used to watch each and every game. Okay. That's the kind of observer I was. Okay. Now, some of you may like doing activities. Some of you may not like doing activities. Okay. It doesn't matter. Do what you want to do. This is the time to explore. Next 4 years. Explore, observe, do what you want, and everything will follow. So I'm not going to tell you. I have a lot of stories, but I don't know whether they're going to be interesting or not. So I'll take a lot of questions, but I'll stop here actually.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your story. So we have a special guest here. So dear enthusiastic fresher, we have the honor of introducing a key figure who plays an essential role in bridging our past with our present and future. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our Dean of Alumni and Corporate Relations, Professor Mahesh Panchangula, who is the alumnus of IIT Madras itself. So huge round of applause for Mahesh sir. So, yeah. So, sir, we would love to have some words from your side to the freshers about our rich alumni and what all they can do in their Insta life and all. So, your story as well. So, a huge round of applause for Mahesh, sir.
Okay, I'll get up and talk. Good morning. Good morning. First of all, welcome to IIT Madras. It's been about a week since you've been here. So, how many of you miss home food? Wonderful. How many of you have enjoyed the company of strangers who you've now found? Wonderful. How many of you have found the classroom experience different from what you had imagined? Okay? And how many of you have bicycled around campus aimlessly? Okay. So thus far you're doing all the right things. How many of you want to go home this Independence Day weekend? Okay, I will take that as a vote of confidence that IIT is doing something right. Okay, good. So, anytime I welcome a group like you to IIT Madras, I'll remind you that you studied very hard to get here. This is not an easy place to enter. I keep telling our people, our in-gate security is very tight, but our out-gate security is not that great. Okay. Our in-gate process are not easy to get in. But I want to remind you of the real reason you studied hard for what? 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, 16 years in some cases. There's now an LKG Fiji, if you didn't know. Somebody says if you don't put your kid in LKG, you're already 2 years late. Okay, so some ungodly number of years have been spent studying whatever you needed to study to get here. But the real reason you are here is not to become a student of IIT Madras. How many of you thought you were studying hard to get into IIT Madras to become a student at IIT Madras? The real reason you studied hard is to become an alumnus of IIT Madras. Right? Not to become a student alone. So your process does not stop here. Although, like I said, the process of becoming an alumnus once you are a student is pretty straight and narrow and sort of easy going. We've made that path somewhat easy. I think all of us here on the stage who have been alumni will attest to the fact that life on campus is not as demanding as one thought it would be. But the reason it is not demanding is also an important one for you to absorb and take advantage of. How many of you have found some free time on your calendars since coming to IIT? Okay, those hands were going up more gently, just in case I have some sinister plans for that free time. No, I don't have sinister plans for that free time. It's yours. A college life is all about not just your time in the classroom. It is also about doing more with your time here. Talking to people, making friends. Attending dozens and dozens of club meetings that are everything from painting, dancing, music, keyboard playing on one end to geeky Android app programming. You name it, there is a club on campus to help you learn a new skill. Right? So that free time is completely yours to do what you want to do. And if there is one thing as a professor I want to see happen in this campus in the next few years, is that you actually have more free time in your hands, not less free time. Because this place is a highly multicultural, multi-dimensional campus. And you have to grow in all of those dimensions. It's not good enough that you are an excellent mathematician, physicist, or a chemist, as you are today. That's a very, very restricted view of a good student. A good student, and more importantly, a good citizen, is one that is got many, many, many different skills that you currently don't possess. For example, how many of you can get in a small group of 10, and I want to really see your hands raised those that are, that think you are here. If I randomly pick 10 of you, put you in a discussion room and say, discuss a topic, should we have more greenery on campus or is this sufficient? Let's assume a topic like that. How many of you believe that you can veer the remaining 9 to your point of view? How many of you believe that you will actually absorb the best point of view and convert your point of view to that point of view? Okay, so there are two schools of thought. Both are equally good skills to have. It's not one over the other or one under the other. I'm just giving you one little example of a skill that falls in a perfect gray area that this institution provides you the opportunity to pick up, absorb, internalize, and really use for the rest of your career. The chance of using any one of the many theorems you know now in mathematics in your later careers is actually quite slim. But the chance of using a skill like this is nearly 100%. So pick up those skills that you will need with a chance of 100% while you are here. It's an extremely important learning process. And in this process, a group of alumni like you have here are excellent resources to have. They've been here, they've been in your shoes not too long ago, some not too long ago, some a little longer than you would like. But they all have seen life having walked through the same path that you are now walking through. That process of having walked through the same exact path, I wrote JEE in the year 1988, when 70,000 people wrote the exam nationally and some 1,000 people got in, all IITs put together. Right? Today that number is 10 lakh students writing the exam and about 25-30,000 getting in. So the process that each and every one of us went through, study hard, show a certain work ethic, commit to the learning process, commit to believing that understanding concepts actually helps you in an exam, not some shortcuts. These are all things that we've committed to internally. Those things don't change, whether you're an alumni from 50 years ago or an alumni from 5 years ago. Take advantage of this excellent resource of 56,000 alumni spread across 80 countries of the world. Several tens of thousands of them in top leadership positions. Several tens of thousands of them making an impact in their own right, wherever they may be. And trying to really learn from them the process that got them there. At the end of the day, that is one of the most valuable lessons you can learn from alumni. So now I have 2 very specific action items for each and every one of you here. How many of you have heard this program called YARI? Okay? It's a quick way for you to be associated with one or more alumni of your bent of mind, to pick their brains, to talk to them. This is your gateway into the broader alumni ecosystem of 56,000 people. So you talk to somebody from the class of 2015, mechanical engineer, graduate from the class of 2015. That person is friends with all of the mechanical engineers, all of the 2015 class. So you have access to a much bigger ecosystem from having made friends with this one person. And the key word in what I just said is the word friend. This person is just there for you, to tell you something that they did some time ago for you to learn, repeat the mistake sometimes. It's a good idea to also repeat mistakes. Nothing wrong with it. But if you choose to, don't repeat the mistake. Repeat some other, make your own mistake. That's the first ask of all of you. Everybody will sign up? 100%. Okay, good. The second ask of all of you, between 4 and 5 years here on campus. Do something here, learn something here that you currently don't know. Before you graduate, at least one new skill. It could be playing a guitar, it could be singing, it could be playing tennis, it could be public speaking, it could be whatever you want to do. Make a commitment to yourself that you will pick up one skill while you are here that you currently don't have, but you wish you had. Trust me, this second ask of you will help you for a very, very long period of time, because you would have learned how to learn anything new in a new concept, in a new environment, in a new situation. And that skill is going to be very important for each and every one of you. So only 2 asks. Sign up for YARI, find an alumni buddy who you can become friends with. And second, make sure you pick up one skill that you want to learn. And if the skill that you want to learn is not something that is currently taught at IIT Madras through one of the many programs, how many of you have heard of LTAP, Leisure Time Activities Program? Okay? It's intended for you to learn these skills. So just go tell the Dean of Students, this is a skill I wanted to learn. I want to learn tap dancing, but there's nobody teaching tap dancing here. We will find somebody, a good instructor, the best that Chennai has, to come teach you tap dancing while here at IIT Madras. Whatever be the skill you want to learn, we will make sure it is accessible to you. That's the commitment IIT makes to each and every one of you for your own growth. Okay? Clear? You make this promise to yourself. Trust me, you will all be better off for yourself. Thank you very much, and we will take questions.
Thank you, Professor Mahesh. So it's like the key takeaway that you can take from whatever Professor Mahesh told was do your own mistake, network with a lot of people that you can, and learn something new. Is there any other takeaway that you find relevant, please put a story of it in our Instagram page and tag it so that the other person can also know what are the something that you learned from today. Now let's move on to something very interesting. I hope every one of you have heard about JEE, right? It's not something that you have not heard. So what's the full form of JEE? Joint Entrance Examination. So it was an exam that landed you in IIT Madras. Similarly, we have a different version of it. So it is called JEE, but it is Joint Exit Examination. So I will just tell you the rules of this game. So there will be 2 teams. One team will be of alumni and one team will be of freshers. And there will be some JEE question that you have to solve, and then there will be a time limit also. So I want 4 volunteers from your side who will be taking part in it. Okay, the guy there, please come. The back side. The blue girl. That yellow one. And maybe, yeah, easy question. It will be easy question. Maybe you can join us from the alumni side. If anyone want to join from alumni side for JEE question, that's for alumni. Yeah.
We will go sit there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
3.
4 people from.
Sir, if you will.
JEE questions, fight with the freshers. not competition between freshers.
So yeah. वहाँ पे. So we have the fresher team ready. There has been a strategic discussion that is going between alumni team. So we will get back to you. Yeah, these 3. Yeah.
4 now.
So yeah, guys, I can see a strategy has been maintaining there, and alumni are pretty chill. Let's see who will win. Yeah. So, can we have a question? Manager, 1 second.
I can feel the tension in the atmosphere. Once again.
So here are the people who have grinded for 3 years for their JE, and here are the people who have done some specialized degree in their respective department. So let's see who wins. Okay. So there is the first question. I will request my manager to
I hope you guys have markers.
please have the marker, and like Manwan, please give them a phone with the question. I will read out the question for the rest of audience as well. So yeah, Rohan, question. So first of the question is from a subject that everyone knows, chemistry of course, and and the question is about the aromatic compound among the following. So there are 4 compounds that they have to find out, and your time start
Now.
question. So your time start. You have only 2 minutes for it.
Which one of the compounds is an aromatic?
Okay, we have the answer there.
Alumni 1.
Can you also
Alumni
draw the
1.
figure of it so that the people?
Okay, we'll consider that tie. Yeah.
1 second.
I think there is a mistake on the
There,
portal.
there is a cup from
There's
the
a
side.
cup on the portal. Bonus marks. Yes. Question cancelled.
Manwant,
COVID time.
can you put the question in the group? Because you are not showing.
I'll just show the question and the answer then.
Okay, next question is from the subject that everyone fears of. That's the maths, and the chapter is logarithm. And the time start now.
So I'll let out the question in the meantime. What is the value of log base 3, 4 log base 4, 5 log base 5, 6 log base 6, 7 log base 7, 8 log 8, and 9? I see the fresher team struggling. I see the fresher team struggling. There is a... There's a very strategic discussion going on amongst the alumni. I see the freshers have taken the win.
Freshers won this.
Okay, this one will go to fresher. So we have to increase the difficulty because everyone is solving. Like you are not sure about the question. So the next one is from a chapter that I had a nightmare during my J time. It's from current electricity to find the current that is flowing in the circuit. The fourth question.
Question number 4, if you have the PDF. मैं करता हूँ. So the question is to find out the current I in the given circuit. I can't show
Okay.
you the given circuit, obviously, but
Yeah. It's correct, guys. The alumni has already done in mind. They have not done calculation, but they have in the mind. Woo! So basically, experience is greater than the talent.
see, there is a thing, there's a key skill called marketing which you have to learn eventually.
Okay, let's move on to the next question.
Let's move on to the next question.
Ajit, question number.
Uh,
Okay, before we move on, for the next question, just the answer. No problem.
yeah.
Question number?
1 second. Question number, this one.
Let's give a math problem, no? This
Yeah.
G-
So the
GP1.
GP1. GP question. So the question is, let A1, A2, A10 be a series in geometric progression. A3 by A1 is 25. Then what will be A9 by A5 equals? Option?
Okay.
Option 2, 5 to the power 4.
That's already written there, so alumni is one.
So again, the alumni won. And by the way, I have not leaked this question to anyone. So it's all about experience.
It's all encrypted.
So you have to market it properly. That's the key. So yeah,
Explosive start.
next question.
Hydrogen and concentration.
Okay. This is the question that I will dictate, and the option will not be shown to you. You have to listen it carefully and you have to give your answer.
Okay.
What you have to do?
Hydrogen and concentration, na?
I will dictate it. I will dictate it. I will dictate it.
If you insist.
So I will dictate it. So please listen carefully. When the hydrogen ion concentration changes by a factor 1000, so the number is 1000, the value of pH of the solution decreases by 3. Yeah, that's the right answer. Tie. Okay, this is again question that I will be only dictating. Welcome to IIT Madras. So yeah, this is the last question, and this will fetch you 2 points. Huh? Yeah, what's the score? I think 3-1. Yeah, you got one, so it's 3-1. So it's your time to tie it up. So I will dictate the question. It is from the physics, and it's from the modern physics. So I hope everyone have seen Oppenheimer. So maybe it will make some sense. So yeah, the half-life of a radioactive substance is T. The half-life of a radioactive substance is T. The time taken for disintegrating 7/8 part of its original mass. Yeah, it's 3D.
Was it there in your mains or something? How do you know the answer before?
Is this a very common question?
I mean, okay.
Okay, guys, so hopefully the game has been tied up, and I will request IR Secretary to please facilitate the person.
think it's. And
Okay, guys, I think everyone can take your place. And Professor Mahesh and Sridhar sir, you also can please take up the place. Okay, so the next segment, enough of me and Rohan boring you guys. Now will not be any POC between you and the alumni. Anyone, any question that you have in your mind you want to ask alumni, because there was some question regarding JEE maths physics question that we have already asked. If you want to ask any other question, then the forum is open for you. You can ask any question to any of the alumni that is sitting here, and your time starts now.
raise your hand.
And anybody who asks a good question will get a free iPhone sticker.
By the way, you have to raise your hand and then Rohan will give the mic. So let's see who is getting the iPhone sticker. Woo!
No questions?
I wanted to ask that, I have a conundrum, essentially. I'm trying to get into a field that doesn't really exist in India at the moment, right? And the version of it that exists is very devoted to software and mechanical engineering. Essentially, I'm trying to get into non-rigid robots, yeah? The only places that you see work happening are in either NASA or your Carnegie Mellon, all those places. Now, I'm hoping that here in Department of Physics, I could get to learn nanotechnology and understand how to make the relevant sensors and get people who are skilled or understand the multidisciplinary approach to it. But the impending issue of having a job before you get into a field also is a scary thought. I was hoping that I could get some insight into like whether prioritizing would be a good idea or just getting after professors and alumnus who have some idea of the fields and going through them would be a better option. Because at the moment, I have to, it's a scary place to be.
Thank you for the question. I'll just answer only the first part and I'll let somebody else answer the second part. First of all, that deserves an iPhone sticker right away, okay? So thank you. Your assumption that in the world of flexible robotics, that's the area, in the world of flexible robotics, there's not much happening at IIT or in India is wrong, okay? So you will find people, I mean, you still have a long time, you will find people, you just go look around, ask around, you will find people who are working in flexible robotics here, okay? There are people I know at IAC, there are people in many other places. So it's an area that you will certainly find enough interest. Whether you should stick to research, whether you should do something else, I should let somebody else answer. Maybe Neha, do you want to add a little bit? Sure.
I'll just add.
Okay, first I want to congratulate you for knowing exactly what you want to do. Okay, and a lot of us did not, and that is okay, right? So we didn't have the luxury to be able to choose civil engineering or mechanical, right? So we get what the rank that we got gave us some options. We had some choice, but that's okay. But the institute professors afterwards rekindle or kindle a joy in learning that subject, and I hope that happens with all of you. But it is also okay, even after, let's say, even 3 years or even the 4th year, you don't know what you want to do. Okay, that is fine. Do not worry about having to decide right now, this is what I want to do. And if you don't, if you know that, that's great. If you don't, it is okay. You will find out what you like later on. You have a whole career in front of you to discover your passion and to find ways to exercise your passion. I'll just say that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Sridhar. I think you got it all. But great question. My guidance or what I stems from my personal experience is fields will be evolving. You will at no point in time find someone who will teach you exactly what is going on and what you think is the best. But you will definitely find people, like Sir said, who are working in the area, may not be precisely what you're interested in, but you will find a support system that can guide you and thrust you in that direction. So for example, for this, there is, and thankfully there are plenty of resources which are available within campus, off campus, online, and channels to enable that, transfer of knowledge between the campus, IIT Madras, and international channels, So there are programs that can lead you to Carnegie Mellon, and we wish that you go over there. But good that you have clarity of thought in terms of what you want to achieve, but there will be efforts that will have to be put in from your side to make it a reality. So my guidance is take what you have over there, merge it with what's happening in the real world, and build your own unique journey. Because that will be very particular and special to you, and in future as that evolves, from flexible rovers, and we hope that you're probably one of those people who can build a program that can take India into space tourism. So that would be my guidance and advice to you, but great question and wish you all the best.
I'm going to just touch on a point. I don't know whether I misunderstood or not, but one of the non-technical points you raised was research versus job. Am I right? Right. I will touch upon that only. Okay. It used to be a bigger problem 30 years back. Okay. What we have realized is that over a long term, what you decide matters. You decide something and stick to it. Now, that's easier thing to say when you're on the other side of like you have a lot of experience and so on. Practically, what are the things you can do? Talk to alumni. Okay. This is a big forum, so and any advice that's being given could be a generic advice. But talk to. There's in the alumni association that Yari thing is that. Get 2 or 3 alumni, talk to them, explain to them, because there are very specific circumstances. Not same advice would be applicable to everybody. Okay. Depending on your economic condition, depending on where you come from, depending on how much risk you are willing to take, will affect what you want to. But take advice from the alumni. That is available for you now. Then, whatever it is, you sit down, okay, I've gotten all the advice I want. Today, I will make a decision. That's what I said, you are important. You are important. Your decision is important. Make a decision. Just stick to that. Maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's not a mistake. Right? But that's how life evolves. Okay. So that would be the practical advice I would give you as of now.
Yeah, just wanted to say that program of connecting to alumni is called CLICK. Okay, so please take advantage of that.
There was a question back there.
Good morning, everyone. This is Jashwant, and I'm a chemical engineer. I just want to know what are the career options I would have as a chemical engineer in 2023 and preferably in 2027. Also, on the funnier side also, I want to ask if any one of you explored the Aerovell in your times. Thanks.
Okay. So, is there a chem alumni here? There's no chemical engineering. Okay, I'll double up as a chemical engineering alumni.
Yeah, so congratulations on getting here. I'm sure a lot of effort and a spectacular career ahead, I can promise you that. With regards to chemical engineering, the way I see it is, in addition to traditional, jobs that were there, what you will have to, and I'm sure the department will guide you, is the field of green chemistry. So my guidance would be to start looking at procedures like advanced pyrolysis, those kind of things which will be fundamental to the transition and some of the focus areas that I work on, which is green economy. So that I think will have a lot of jobs in the future around 2027 from what I'm doing at this point in time. I'll let Sir guide you a little bit better in terms of what the curriculum would be and what are the opportunities here.
Thank you. How many of you are chemical engineers here? Okay, so this will sort of apply to everybody, right? In the year somewhere in the 1960s, there was an Oscar-winning movie called The Graduate. Anybody here who has seen it? It stars a person called Dustin Hoffman. He won the Best Actor award for that. The opening scene in that movie is Dustin Hoffman, a young 21-year-old, just gets a degree from MIT in chemical engineering. Okay, and his dad is a fairly well-off person. Their family is well-to-do. So the dad is hosting a graduation party for his son. There's lots of uncles, right? Uncles and aunts who have come for that party. And one uncle pulls this kid aside and tells, this is now mid-1960s, I will give you one word advice. Plastics. Okay? So in the year 1960s, chemical engineering had just completely gone berserk with different kinds of plastics. And you see where we are today. I can't live our life without plastics, right? In the year 2027, in fact, today's Indian Express, I buy Indian Express at home, and today's Indian Express had a front page cover story on microplastics in people, in the blood, microplastics in the ocean, and how plastics has gone from being something that one would advise a young graduate to go into, to a field that is, again, something you would advise somebody to go into only to remediate the negative side of plastics. Certainly, this is something that will come to change our lives in the next 20 years. There's so much plastic garbage around us. Finding green solutions, to Neha's point, is going to be a career worth pursuing. There are careers and there are careers worth pursuing. I will put this in the brand of careers worth pursuing. As a chemical engineer, your job will be to come up with not only plastics that can biodegrade faster and go back to being part of our nature, but also to take care of the existing thousands and thousands of metric tons of plastic garbage that is just lying around. A diaper takes 500 years to degrade. And when it degrades into microparticles of the same plastic, not back into carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen ready for use by nature. This is just one example of what chemical engineering has as a challenge. And I can go on and on and on. When you go into your field in chemical engineering, you will see there's dozens of problems that should motivate you from the inside. That says, this is a problem I'm going to dedicate my life to solving. Each and every one of you in the first year and a half of your time here, you should have identified, like that gentleman there, identified a problem that you will say, I want to dedicate my life to finding a solution to this problem. The moment you do that, your livelihood will be taken care of, your happiness will be taken care of, your career growth will be taken care of, financial security will be taken care of. That is the India we have promised for us today. You say, I will promise, I will devote my life to a problem and everything else will come running after you. Not a dearth of resources there at all. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Great points. I think you encapsulated the first part of what I was, finally leading to. And a good example is there is an Indian company which has come up with a seaweed-based plastic replacement technology. So they've been able to extract resins from seaweed and convert it into films that, work like cling wrap and go on top of everything that we like to see, covered in plastic. But that might be, something like an interesting use case to identify. And like sir said, identify it and work on it so that you can build a career which you can not only be, it'll be financially sustaining for you, but you'll also get a lot of happiness out of it. So I think just finding something that is at the blend, and fortunately, I see a lot of youngsters who are now able to identify what is their vocation and match it to their vocation, and I think that's a beautiful way to build a career for yourself. So thank you for that, and I hope this answers your query.
I would actually have liked to ask each one of you all this personally, but the question is, what were your plans when you had just entered college? And how did that lead to whatever you're doing right now? So, like, what events transpired that shaped you and then pushed you into the field you are now? Because
fantastic, good question here. When I joined IIT Madras, I'll give a very small story. So I'm from Delhi, and when I got into IIT, my mother said, you can take IIT Delhi and you can come on the weekends. So that made me cut off IIT Delhi as an option. I could not get IIT Bombay, with no disrespect to IIT Madras. IIT Bombay was quite famous that time when I joined. I had the option of IIT Bombay, IIT Madras. So I got into it. And then the moment I entered IIT, like this gentleman, I would not even talk to him. But he has so much clarity in life. I had no clarity in life. I just wanted to have fun because I had slogged for 2-3 years. So I just wanted to have fun. And when I started doing that, I got involved in a lot of things. In my first year, I was Mr. Fresher. Then I was like very sort of popular guy in my college, in my college days. So I got into a lot of teams. मतलब कुछ भी होता था ना, I would be there. I would be there in Tech Soc, I would be there in Lit Soc, I would be there in Sweater. I'll be there for each and everything. And my hostel, those days, now, sorry to say, but nowadays, hostel culture has been spoiled because I got to know that you guys have to keep on changing your hostel year by year. But in my time, Mandak was my real mother. I would talk to Mandak, which was my hostel, and then I will talk to, if I get time, I'll talk to my real mother. So that was the level of hostel culture that we had. Now, answering your question, all these things, for example, when I entered and then going forward, I led so many teams, Sastra, Sarang, Mitra, EML. So by 4th year, I was already handling some 100+ team members inside IIT. That gave me a lot of skill, like people management and everything. And trust me, I won't remember a single word that my professor would have taught me, even though my CGPA is not very bad. But I will, I'm not telling to spoil you guys, but I'll study a day before and then ulti, matlab, I will vomit in the exam and that's it. That is the knowledge, that is the only knowledge that I have in my 4 or 5 years. So I completed that, but what I want to tell you, I remember everything that my seniors taught me. Because we had a great hostel culture, we had a great hierarchy. So even now when I meet my seniors, it's a very pleasant relationship. So I learned a lot from my hostel seniors that till then, I mean, that is the source of my bread and butter, so to say. And those things, like working in larger teams, so even now I keep on doing it. This is my profession. So to answer your question, these things, I think you should definitely adopt it. And you should make friends, like Dean was saying, that you should have a group of 10 friends, at least. When you pass out, they should be there with you in your marriage and whatever. So all the best to each of you.
I think great question, and thank you, Atul, for your response. I'm a classic case of what somebody doesn't want to do. When I was nearly about to come to IIT, I was at that point when I wanted to go to Purdue to do PhD in computer science. I fortunately did not. I ended up marrying a naval officer. He came to do MTech in ocean engineering at IIT Madras. I decided to give my exam and got through dorms, IIT Madras. And at that time, a lot of people said, does IIT have a management school? Like, really? Like, is it one of those places? No, you're lying, you know. It is just something you've made up. I walked into dorms, and you will not believe, with a 1-year-old kid for my interview. And very, very skeptical of how people would look at me, and the way Professor Tenmuri, who's the now HOD, and Professor Kamlanaban took me in. I spent the best 2 years of my life over here. I wanted to pursue HR after that, but life got me into finance. And for those of you who want to pursue startups, I ended up working with someone who's written the Lean Startup book, Eric Ries. I went and worked at his stock exchange, built the matching engine for that stock exchange with my technology and finance knowledge. And today I'm back, I'm working on something which is very fascinating for me, very close to me. I ended up working on the Sustainable Accounting Standards Board, which is SASB. And today we are building a $100 million fund, which is focused on climate technology startups in India to foster that green transition. So I'm an absolute nutcase when it comes to what you originally started out to do and what you eventually ended up. And because the industry is such, things change every 2 to 3 years. You cannot decide one thing and just hope that you stick to it and it'll, you know, you'll feel happy all your life. So my guidance and what I've learned is this constant process of learning and growing and extracting the most in terms of cross-cultural that you can get from IIT. There will be no institute in India which will let you do karma yoga along with like chemistry. So make the most of it. I think that's the blended learning that IIT Madras can give you, and that's something that has really shaped in who I am, and I fall back on IIT for that anytime I have any doubts, and the alumni network is so solid. Every time I've reached out, there's been someone who's there to say, okay, let me guide you on how to do this further. So hope that helps.
Hello everyone, and I am from Patna, and there is an IIT in Patna also. But due to reasons just like Atul, I came to Madras, and also because I like the forests here. So I also did not have a very clear idea of what I wanted to do in IIT. But I had this image of IIT that it was a very utopian place. People tried a lot of different things here and new things here, and so I thought that it would be a good experience to come here. So that is it. I did not have a very clear idea that I want to be a civil engineer or I want to do this. I just felt that I have to crack IIT and then I'll see later. So after coming here, I tried different things. I tried the LTAP courses. I took different courses. And I took courses of like a variety of courses. Like I'll give you a few examples. Film theory and practice, introduction to contemporary Tibet, and those kinds of, a lot of humanities courses I did. And what I eventually ended up was in the placement season came, and it's like a tradition to prepare for DSA and aptitude. And so I did that, and I eventually got a job in software. So yeah, that's not a very coherent journey, like you think something and that will happen. Looking back in retrospect, it is a bit chaotic, yeah. But if you have kind of a goal in mind at the outset, it is better. It will be more fruitful if you if you first decide that this is the direction that I want to go.
Hi everyone, I'm Sameer. I'm a recent graduate from the Department of MME, and I'll keep this simple. So I came in with the notion that I want to do something in tech. I also want to explore. I had been told there's a lot of avenues to explore, both co-curriculars, sports, culturals, be it whatever you want. So that was what I had in mind when I came in, and I didn't have any elaborate plans or so on. I just knew that I want to explore and just go along with it, not leave what I already know, but develop what I know and have fun along the way. That is what I continued doing throughout my 4 or 5 years, and I still am doing it. I may rant about it maybe a few times a day that there's too much on my plate, I don't know what to do, but I still hope to continue doing that. And I'll keep it simple. That is all that I had. I didn't have a very strong notion that I want to work on this, I want to learn this. And if someone has it, it's pretty good. It helps give you a direction. But if you don't, you can take it as an opportunity, because you can now grow into whatever direction you want. So I'll end there.
Hello everyone, I am Bharat. I just graduated this year, 2023, from metallurgy. When I joined in, I couldn't say this very properly as I am able to say metallurgy. That was time. So from my 10th standard, I had a strong interest in computers. So whenever I used to sit in my lab in 11th class, I had information practices. I hope you guys are aware of this subject in CBSE board. That appreciation what I got by mixing few things and creating a application in Java, that time gave me so much pleasure, like that appreciation from madam. Since then, I thought that I will do something related to that. Then when I came here, I realized, oh my God, that's metallurgy. How can I go from here to what I want to do, really? Then sitting with friends, taking some extra classes. There used to be some classes for DSA. We used to go there. Seniors used to put fun days. Okay, this is how we can do it. Practice on this platform. Like this, I ended up, okay, this is how it can be done. Currently, I'm working on a very cutting-edge technology where we are utilizing LLMs to create AI applications, real AI applications where simply users can interact and read out their documents for themselves. You can query documents directly. So this is how it went for me. Entirely different. Thank you.
See, the story is metallurgy to LLMs, right? So that's possible because of where you are at. So I want to I'll now talk as an alumnus. When I entered here as a freshie in 1988, I was in Ganga hostel, and at that time we stayed in Ganga throughout. That was this thing. After 4 years of mechanical engineering, I'd learned a little bit of mechanical engineering. It was very interesting to me. And at that time, the rule of the jungle, IIT jungle at least, IIT Madras jungle at least, was to go get another degree for sure, master's or PhD typically. Except one guy, almost all of us went for graduate studies, either to an IIM for an MBA or to do a master's, and typically those masters were outside India, because in India the opportunities were very few back then. So I went to Purdue. Neha, I did something that you didn't do. So I went to Purdue for my graduate studies. I did my master's and PhD, and even then I must say I did not know what I wanted to do. So clearly the answer to your question was, at the end of 4 years, I sort of had an idea that I needed to study further. And I will recommend that to everybody sitting here today. Please do not stop with a BTech degree. Get at least one more additional degree that will give you breadth of knowledge of what you want to do, wherever that may be. Today's India is different from the India of 1992 when I graduated. There are excellent graduate learning institutions in India today. You can choose to still go wherever you want to go. There's nothing wrong with that. But remember to get one more degree. Now, after I got the degree, it took me, I went to work in the aerospace industry for some time. I was doing some gas turbine combustion design, gas turbine combustor design, which is still a very important problem because aircraft today are still among the most polluting modes of transportation today. The biggest source of pollution of nitrogen oxides, which causes acid rain, is still aircraft and the aviation industry. So I had a chance to work in the aviation industry that was being at that time arm twisted to fix this problem. And it gave me an opportunity to do some research in an industry. And as I did more and more of that, the industry was not as appealing as the research part. And it took me 2 or 3 more stepping stones to find the job that I am in now. So I became a professor. I became a faculty member in the US. I taught there for some years. And in 2010, I moved back to IIT Madras, my alma mater, and have not looked back since then. All of you will graduate in 2027-28, and you will all find jobs. And the job description, the titles that you will all take on, you can be rest assured that upwards of 90+% of those titles didn't exist 10 years ago. Okay, 10, 15 years ago, if somebody asked, I want to be a data analyst or a prompt engineer for a large language model, there's no such thing as, the title didn't exist, forget the job description. So 10 years, 15 years from now, the jobs that you will all be working in will be jobs where even the job titles don't exist today. So the main skill to acquire is to be able to re-engineer yourself into a new job description every 5-10 years. That skill is extremely crucial for you to have under your belt here and now when you go out into the field. Having said that, there is one job title that existed 1,000 years ago that exists today, and I can assure you will exist 1,000 years from now. What is that job title? Professor. So I urge some fraction of you, this is not for everybody, I urge some fraction of you to keep this job in your mind. It's one of the most rewarding jobs there is in the whole world. Okay, so I'm expecting some fraction of you to go do your PhD wherever and come back and become a faculty member, either at IIT Madras or at another IIT, IISc, wherever it may be. But I can promise you it is one of the best jobs there is in the whole world. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone. So we'll be moving on to our next segment.
No, I think.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Taking my mind back to when I was studying, when I was in civil engineering, the way I got into my career is that I got interested in programming at that time, which was not very big in those days. Partly, possibly because the only AC in the campus was the computer center. Okay, there was nothing else. We had just gotten a Siemens mainframe system in 1988 and a huge computer center which is still there. That Siemens system may not be there, but that computer center allowed us to write small programs. It could be anything, and we were all taught Introduction to Fortran course. And then after that, we were let free. And, I became interested in programming in civil engineering. And I went, like Mahesh said, a lot of us did at that time, went abroad for a master's. And unlike him, even though I had the option to do a PhD, I chose not to. I wanted to explore what the world of work is, right? So I quit after getting my master's. And even in the master's, which is a very traditional geotechnical masters, right? So there was no scope for programming there. I brought in programming in all different kinds of things. So I wrote a program to generate all the graphs that I needed to use in my thesis. Completely unnecessary, but that kept telling me that this is what I wanted to do. I found a job in civil engineering software, which I really liked. I really liked the the job, the company, the kind of roles that I had, and I slowly transitioned into software, and then eventually into business, so into finance. So I did my MBA, a full-time MBA in corporate finance, and I started working in the intersection of finance and software. So my career has been in finance and software, and I've absolutely loved it. But this is not something that I could have predicted, and a lot of people probably don't have a goal. If you had asked me then what I would end up being 25 years from now, I couldn't have said this, but it just naturally evolved. And I just went with the flow because this was something that I liked, and I was lucky enough to be able to do what I liked. So that's how I got into my career. Thank you.
Yeah, I think there were two questions. One is, why did we choose IIT Madras, and why did we? Okay. Okay. Yeah. The first thing is, how did I choose IIT Madras? Well, at that point of time, I think IIT Kanpur, it is 91. 87. IIT Kanpur was supposed to be the best in computer science. So naturally wanted to choose IIT Kanpur. But my Hindi skills are like zero. I am from Chennai, and my Hindi skills are zero. My father said, you're not going there. So, and I chose IIT Madras. Now, did I know what I was getting into before IIT Madras? Yes. I am, in fact, in my, I think, 9th standard, which is, I think, would be 1984, I, by chance, somebody said, this is great, computer science is coming up, and there's a great programming language called BASIC, so you have to do that. So I went to an institute, did that course, fell in love with computers, did like BASIC, COBOL, Fortran, like you just name everything. Like I think I know more computer languages than actual languages. So when I came into IIT, I was lucky. I was fortunate enough to I was able to get a seat in computer science IIT Madras. So when I came into IIT itself, I bought a box of floppies. I didn't know, of course, later, just about doing the reunion, my batchmates said, we would be like, there's an introduction to computing course actually in the first semester. So they'd say, well, we would be trying to learn, and this guy was having a box of floppies with computer code and so on. So that way, yes, I was in love with computers, and I was fortunate to get into this. And I've been following that. I'm following that sort of on my own. So that's a little about whether I knew about computers before coming up and knew about computers after. Yeah, I learned a lot about computers after going also. So that's where it is. What did it answer the question? Okay. That's not much of a transition as far as the core subject love goes, basically. I still am computer, but to do that, in fact, certain points have been talked by Mr. Mahesh as well as Sridhar. It was actually tough to be in core computer science then. You might say, what? No, it's actually tough to be in core computer science then in India. You can get into Infosys, you can get into those kind of IT companies were there. But core computer science, it was very tough actually. So I did start a company. Okay, of course, my primary love is like computers, not really business. So, but yes, that's how I've been sustaining. And I sort of keep the core and do what I can. That's how I've been working on. So I have a small company which deals with internet messaging and security product. And we have Indian customers. And sort of do that more on passion than anything else, actually. Did I answer your question? Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Alumni, for all the answers. Can we have a round of applause once for all of our alumni? Right. And with this, we reach one of the final segments of this event. So we have a degree distribution program for all of our alumni here once again. But before that, there's a catch. We have a small enzyme for you to check your instant knowledge and to also enlighten the freshers about the general trivia of the institute. So, Arjit.
So all of you must have D3Ps, which is Departmental Degree Distribution Programs. So now we'll have duplicate degree distribution program for all of you. And yeah, so let's start with your NSEMs. First question, what was the name of the cafe which was located on the right side of CCW and which used to be open 24/7?
IRCTC.
Suprava.
It was run by IRCTC. He's also right. Yeah, it was run by IRCTC. It was called Suprabha.
Okay. What is the cost of building Mandakini Hostel? What was the?
Nobody would know except me, so it's unfair. Move on.
How many gates in IIT Madras? The name of the gates.
Huh?
Name of the gates. Name of the gates.
No, first, how many gates? I know how many.
Okay. In our time, there were 3 gates. So there was a Taramani gate, Velacheri gate, and a main gate. That's it.
No, that's research.
Sir, Krishna Gate was not there in your time.
I'm sorry, Krishna gate was there. That's a mistake.
Okay, next question. Where was the Ramu tea?
How many gates are there now?
Only 3. At least, actually 4. I would tell you the 4th one also. IITM Research Park also.
Thinking wide.
Next question is, where was the Ramu tea stall situated earlier? What is its current location?
It was near Himalaya Mess. Yeah, Himalaya Mess.
Yeah,
when
that
I
was
there.
earlier, right now.
I don't know.
Shopping complex. Shopping complex, yeah.
Oh.
So you just note down all the places that we are mentioning because it will be worth exploring it.
Okay. Which boys' hostels were converted into girls' hostel after 2019?
Bhadra. Bhadra and?
One more hostel.
Tunga? Yeah, Tunga. The next question is, how many girls' hostels are there currently in IIT Madras?
There are 4 now.
5. 5.
You are close.
6 हो गया.
One final answer from your side, from alumni team.
6.
6. Yeah, 6 is the right answer. Okay. 3 animals which are found in IIT Madras.
Deer. Cheetal deer, black buck, and monkeys.
Yeah, correct.
Name 2 industry startups.
Agnikul.
Ether.
Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, what was the name of IR secretary earlier?
Satyendra Pandey.
Earlier means kitna earlier? Last, or I can also quote the my eras.
You will get extra marks for it.
The my era, Jitin Sam Varghese was the first one with whom IR was even started.
No, the designation of IR. The name of the relation. Right now it is called International Alumni Relation, but what was previously it called? You have answer?
Tough question, yeah.
Tricky question.
Do you know? Teriyada.
No idea.
Alumni Affairs Secretary, Alumni Affairs Relation.
Yeah, any guesses? Any guesses?
Alumni Affairs Relation, no?
Any guesses from the student? I will give you a hint. It is somewhat related to one of the minister position in India that has become quite famous right now. Exactly. So it was External Affairs Secretary. Okay, this is interesting. Where is the third elephant of GC?
Sorry, Mahesh has to get the credit. It's in the staff club, near the staff club.
What was there before the CCD area? What was there in that place?
There was this motorcycle cafe, and there were lots of bikes hanging.
How far back do you want to go?
How far back? That's
Your individual eras.
Okay, in my individual era, that was where there was a computer with email facility and a fax machine. Okay, so
Where is the Student Facility Center?
Where the new hostel is being built.
Wrong. This is something that most of recent alumni has been visited.
Yeah, where Gurunath was earlier, that area.
No. What's the name of the place right now?
There's a girls' SFC near Sharaf.
Yeah.
Oh, that is different. So the earlier where Gurunath, that complex was called SFC.
Okay, some funding I'm also getting right now. So the answer is Usha. Where is the 3D printed house located?
Behind Taramani Guest House. In front of Taramani Guest House.
No.
Okay.
Behind EDD department.
Yeah, exactly. It's ET department. What is the name of the national park on which IIT Madras has been constructed?
Gindi National Park.
Gindi National, exactly. Okay, this is some easy question that I want to ask to student. What is the campus size of IIT Madras? What?
6161 what?
617.
How many of you agree with it? Just raise your hand. Yeah, it's 617. This is the last question to the alumni. Which is the oldest building of IIT Madras? Yeah.
BSB.
Kaveri Hostel, BSB, choose one thing.
BSB.
BSB? Yeah, it's BSB. So now is the time for the result. And I will start with the distinction who is getting rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. So the rank 1 is going to our topper, Professor Mahesh. Yeah.
The second position goes to Neha ma'am. Anji. Next up, we have Atul sir.
So this is to certify that the following person has officially transformed from a curious chemist to a certified chemical concoctor, now bearing the distinguished alumni title from the chemical wonderland at IIT Madras. So to earn a BTech degree in the Rasayan department on August 13, has triumphantly survived 8 AM classes, PH 1020 and mess food. So we congratulate them.
Okay, so the next degree goes to Sridhar sir. So this is to certify that the following person has navigated the maze of blueprints and graduated from making concrete to building bridges to earn a BTech degree in the mystery department on August 13, 2023. So huge round of applause for Sridhar sir. The next graduating alumni is Utkarsh Kumar. The next person to get a degree is from Mitti Patthar department, and his name is Bharat Meena.
Our next graduate is Shri Krishna sir from Paisa department. Which is the Paisa department, guys? And our final alumni, our favorite, Samir Bhaiya.
So we have officially concluded our event. Now I hope you enjoyed everything of it. I just want to call Ujjwal for a vote of thanks.
Before that, I just want to add one thing. How many of you have fallen in love with mess food? About time. Whether you like it or not, it's a simple way to enjoy the smaller aspects of life if you know that it's actually not bad. I ate mess food for 4 years here, and look at me, I'm not too terribly bad. You realize this when you go and you start cooking on your own. Then you'll see mess food was not actually bad. I want to suggest one more thing. I want to put a shout out to something that our Alumni Association does. We run a gift shop inside the Heritage Center. How many of you know that? Okay. There's some really nice gifts. When you go home, remember to take something back for your family members. Remember to get something for yourself. And that gift shop is a great place to go get this, get good merchandise and memorabilia. Thank you.
So, hi all. First of all, I'd like to thank all the alumni who are here, and a huge round of applause for them to taking out time on a Sunday. So, all the knowledge, valuable experience that we have got from them is something that all of us should value. And the connect that we build with the alums in a duration of what, just 2-3 hours, is and we really enjoyed that. So, stay connected with IR and you'll get to experience the connect more. And I'd like to also thank to the ACR office and the ARC team. They have helped us in successfully organizing this event. And I hope you have enjoyed this, and we'll conclude. Thank you.
One last thing that we'll have is a selfie with all the alumni and with all the students.
Sure. While the selfie is getting assembled, I want to make one point. A lot of what you will experience at IIT Madras is here because of alumni and what they have done for the institute after they have graduated and gone on. Those of you that eat at the Himalaya Mess was constructed from alumni money, alumni generosity. You look at Kaveri, any of you, you're not here in Kaveri yet, right? So when you go to Kaveri, the Kaveri hostel was completely redone from the generosity of an alumni. You'll see lots of students who are on scholarships from alumni money. So while we are going through these 4 years, be grateful for what our the alumni who have studied here before you have done for us. Remember that sense of gratitude as we go through the day.
Thank you guys. Everyone can come forward so that everyone is covered in selfie.
Picture from there, it's easier.
Yeah, one of the manager can take.